Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Gail Carson, your host for Women in Business, a show that celebrates women and their accomplishments as entrepreneurs or senior managers. As a woman business owner for over 5 decades, I take great pride in bringing these interviews to you. My guest today is Laurie Brucker. She was named LA's go-to stylist by the Los Angeles Times in 2012 and LA's best personal stylist by CBS in 2013. And LA's coolest stylist by 365 Hangers in 2014. Certified image consultant, motivational speaker, and author, Laurie Brucker is all about everyday people dressing with heart. She believes to living an inspired and desired life, and all you need is a great belt and an open mind, she says. Laurie brings 13 years of experience in the fashion industry to your closet, home, and heart by presenting styling techniques as a catalyst for personal growth and achievement. Welcome, Laurie.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're so welcome. Well, I know that you're an image consultant, and back a long time ago when I had modeling and charm schools, I did a lot of image consulting, but it wasn't called image consulting then. It was just called, making you look good. It was a fashion statement, that kind of thing. So tell our audience what an image consultant is and then what you specifically do.
Sure. Well, as an image consultant, we work with individuals, professionals, companies to help everyone understand their best style, etiquette, presentation, their overall image. So that can be anything ranging from etiquette to wardrobe and everything in between. I specifically work in wardrobe and confidence building. So I use wardrobe and building strategic style for my clients as a way to help them feel great, look their best, represent their companies. And we do this by, cleaning out closets, which I love doing, styling with what you already own, and personal shopping, and even event and speaking styling as well. So it really kind of ranges from everything personalized within the closet and home.
Well, you said in the intro, you said, all you need is a great belt and an open mind. So yes. Explain that to us.
Sure. Well, it's my personal philosophy of total empowerment for women. I believe that the belt has the power to create absolute potential in our lives. And I say that having seen it work for so many clients of mine, where the use of a belt in your outfit can define your waist. And when you define your waist, you remember that you're a woman. And I see that from an hourglass to a pear shape to an apple shape. It's a really powerful tool. Now, most women come to me, and actually this is one of my speeches I do for women's groups, and they're like, I don't even own a belt. And I'm like, that's okay. We'll get you one. Because most women are so scared to try a belt, especially when they haven't used it for years. So when you start seeing yourself in the mirror with a defined waist, and there's so many, it's different for every single person where that belt is supposed to fit, the size of belt that's right for you. So it's very individualistic. It opens up this gateway into possibility when you realize this one thing you thought was impossible is now possible. So it's really powerful. And I literally, like with every single client, that moment where it snaps for them, I will start to tear up because I'm so excited for what's going to happen next for them.
Well, don't you think that there are some women who don't think they even have a waistline?
Yes. And women who have waistlines absolutely come to me and they're like, I don't have a waistline. And I'm like, well, where do you think your waist is right now? And the trick is that actually most women believe that their waist is right around where their belly button range would be. But where I'm teaching about the waist is the high waist. It's above the belly button, about 2 inches. It's the lowest part of your rib cage. That's actually where we are all the slimmest, no matter what body shape you are. So when you learn to accentuate that area, it has this amazing chain reaction of you look taller, you look slimmer, you stand up straighter, and you actually see yourself differently, and so do others. And that's a really powerful thing.
Well, now, you started your business in L.A., which is not a small area to start something in.
No.
So how did you get started as an image consultant there?
Well, I'm from Los Angeles, so it was really wonderful to come back here from living in New York City to really build something that was very passionate for me, and also put my roots down in the city that I grew up in. But I used to work in New York City as a fashion designer, and after 7 years of working in the corporate world, I realized there was something bigger out there for me. So while I was still working, I went back to school and I got a degree at FIT in image consulting. And so I'm certified image consultant. So the science of dress, I could tell you exactly what colors are right for you, what outfits are perfect for your body shape and everything in between. And so I took all that knowledge, I quit my job, quit my life, came to LA and said, I'm starting fresh again because there's something bigger out there that I need to do for the world. And it started with a lot of working for free. I called all my friends and all my family and I said, I'm an image consultant. I would like to come and clean out your closet. What would you say about that? And who wants to turn down a free closet cleaning? So I said, you supply the wine, you supply the dinner, I'll come over and I'm going to clean out your closet. And I started practicing my craft. So after a few months of just doing that right off the bat, I actually started showing up to events because now I really had a better understanding of how I like to practice what I had learned in school and now applied with women. And, there's nothing... It's amazing what a confident pitch can do. Feeling confident in your craft and what you provide is such a powerful tool in itself to be able to speak proudly about your work. And so I feel that in going to networking events, I really am so passionate about what I do that I infused so many people with that passion and immediately started booking clients, one here, one there, and then referrals and meeting more people. For me, I love hand-to-hand, person-to-person connection. I think that, especially in my business, it's such a personal process that I really like to speak to people ahead of time. And every single client I've met in person ahead of time has always joined me on this journey. It's been, so I go out and meet people, and that's how I've built my business.
Well, that's fantastic. I didn't realize FIT, for the people who are not familiar, is Fashion Institute of Technology. Mm-hmm. And I didn't realize they had an image consulting degree. I always thought it was strictly design or manufacturing or patterns or things like that. So very interesting. But so how did that positively affect your business, though, your experience as a fashion designer?
Well, in fashion design, I loved designing. I used to design for private label apparel manufacturing companies, and we did what was called Missy apparel, which I think in this design age, it's more of an old term that no one's using anymore. But the Missy customer was the woman in her late 30s to mid to late 50s, and she knew the trends, was a little bit behind. She didn't really follow the runway shows, but wanted to have something that felt stylish for her. And we were taking runway trends when I was designing and applying them and translating them into something that was comfortable, wearable, understandable, and attainable. And that's what the women were shopping for. Green could have been on trend, but truthfully, women wanted to wear purple, or orange could have been on trend, but no one would buy orange in a million years. And this was at the time. Now everyone wants orange. It's a great hot color. It's made it through the masses. But, I look at all of that experience, and it really guided me into seeing how real women shop, how real women buy, how real women react to wardrobe and trends. And not all women want to follow the runways. And I like using that idea. It drives me to help women individually, find what is best for them, whether it is following the trends, following the runway, or just finding style that makes them feel great. It's that simple. It's style that makes you feel great. And I used that experience in the fashion world to really translate it into the image consulting. And when I learned it in school, it just clicked. I'm like, this is everything I learned as a designer. Now I can apply it to the individual woman and actually help her with it individually. And that just was a game changer for me.
You mentioned following the runway, and I wouldn't even think that most women follow the runway. I know when I look at runway shows and I see what's in the fashion magazines, I think to myself, well, I wouldn't wear those things, and I don't think the majority of women would wear those things. So how many people really follow the runway. I mean, especially, I had models that were 5'9", 5'10", 100 pounds. They look good in everything. But,
right.
The average person is not that person.
It's very, very true. It's really interesting to see how the world has evolved with this internet age, where the exposure of what is happening on the in the fashion world is so it's at everyone's fingertips. And when I was designing and a runway show happened, you would see it online maybe a day, 2 days later, and now they're broadcasting it instantaneously. I think that the younger generation is definitely very in tune to it. They're very on top of it. But I do think that there's a very large group of women out there that don't follow that. But also, because of how much information we're being fed through the internet, I think that they're very aware of wanting to feel better about themselves, feel good about what they wear, love their clothes. I think that's a topic that's really been out there circulating. So, being able to provide that for those women is so important, because I think you don't have to know the fashion. And I don't really care for fashion personally. I care about style. I care about the person.
Exactly. That's right.
And I think that's really been very helpful in differentiating my business, especially in Los Angeles, where it's very celebrity based in terms of the stylists and image consultants out here. For me, it's about the person. I care about people so much. I think from my own experience, I've been through so many, we all do, ups and downs of insecurities and body changes and weight changes and not loving this one area and hiding, using our wardrobe to hide behind that. And I really enjoy just like stripping all of that away and saying, you don't have to worry about fashion. You don't have to worry about the runways. You can care. Let's just care about you and take care of you. And here's what we do just for you with your wardrobe. And that really can, brighten up someone's day. I mean, we have to get dressed every day. So if it's a bad experience when you're getting dressed in the morning, you're starting off every day on the wrong foot. So this is a way to help women just live every day brighter by really understanding what's best for them that has nothing to do with fashion.
Well, now you have a motto, people first, style second. So what do you mean by that?
I mean that it's just what we said. I don't care about fashion. I know about it. I could tell you the trends. I could tell you how to translate the trends. But truthfully, it is about the person, the individual, and what is going on with you. So when I work with a client, I don't, yes, we talk about maybe where you like to shop, but I more care about what's going on with you. What are you most insecure about? What have you felt the most challenged with when you open up your closet? And overwhelmingly, everyone says they're overwhelmed with their wardrobe. And that's because, we keep bringing in things and we just don't know the answers for ourselves. And I like to get down to the very personal nitty gritty of like, why are we making those wrong choices in the first place? And how do we make easy tweaks to change that so you can see what you own different, like see what you have, see it differently so that you can have more fun with it. Because what style is to me is confidence. It's feeling great in what you're wearing. That is style. You can wear whatever you want to wear, but if you feel fantastic in it, you could take over the world with that feeling. And I teach women to really hone in on what that is for them individually and then rock it every day. So it's people first, style second. I don't even talk about the fashion.
Well, that's great. And, it's interesting because I had a woman who attended my program in my schools like 50 years ago we're talking about, and she was always late. She was always late for class. And I said, I'll change your time, because I was giving her private instruction. Right. And I said, if I make it at 10 o'clock instead of 9:30, if I make it 10:30 instead of 10, well, she would still always be late. And it turned out that her husband, who had, died by the time she came to me, but he had always picked out her clothes for her. And he was very wealthy, very opinionated, and she literally could not go in the wardrobe, the closet, and pick out what she wanted to wear. It was just impossible for her. So we really had to work on that. That was really an interesting thing. So when you talk about going into someone's wardrobe, it's almost like